welcome to a very loaded episode of Therapist Invitation. I'm Trevor Sharon.
I'm Mark.
And I say loaded because we've actually got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, it's not going to be a long podcast today, but it's going to be a power-packed one.
Yeah, because we want to talk about some of the initiatives that Mayfield Counseling Centers is currently working on. And
well, first of all, how many counseling centers do you know that have a studio for filming and podcasting and all that kind of stuff? So
yeah, I don't.
I'm just going to brag.
Gottmans or
I'm sure they do. I'm just going to brag about that for a minute.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this puts us in a tier for sure.
Pretty cool.
Okay, so I'm going to list out the initiatives, and then Mark, you can just choose whichever one you want to talk about.
Okay.
So we've got in the next couple of months, like things that we are really working hard on are Mayfield Collective.
Which mayfieldcollective.com.
Yep.
Check it out.
Rebranding.
Yes.
Which is a big one. The Client Assistance Fund,
okay,
which is always a big one.
Mm-hmm.
And is that it?
My book.
Your book. Oh, I wonder which one you're going to talk about.
I might surprise you. I'm going to talk about the Client Assistance Fund.
Okay.
I'll let you talk about the book.
Sweet. I'll do that.
So the Client Assistance Fund is always been a dream of ours. It's part of the reason we started Mayfield Counseling Centers and became a nonprofit. I'll be completely honest, it has been the most difficult one to manage because I think as a society, and if you're listening, you're part of this. I'm part of this. You're part of this, Trevor.
Absolutely.
We look at mental health as an individual's issue, not as a collective we. And if we know anything about relationships, anything about community, this needs to be a we issue, not a me issue.
Yeah.
And so the Client Assistance Fund is our attempt to make it a we issue. So think about everything that's happened in 2020 and the beginnings of 2021. Loss of job, decrease in income, isolation, increase in distress, and need. Maybe insurance premiums are going up, or co-pays are going up, or whatever that looks like.
Even electric and utility bills
are going up.
Grief.
Right. And I just found, something that random thought for a minute, but the fact that I found that it costs now 40% more to buy a 2x4.
Oh, really?
Than it did. So like housing prices are going up,
sucks.
All that kind of stuff. Right. So, and mental health, it's distress. And like you said, so it's everything's going up, but it's harder for people to find services.
Yeah.
One, because many people don't know how their insurance works.
Yep.
Right. I have a client right now that has to pay $93 a session until their insurance deductible is met, and then the insurance deductible will pay for counseling. Well, this individual didn't lose their job, thankfully, but got a pay decrease. And they're like, I can't pay that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So, so right now I've worked out a deal where I'll charge you X if you're committed. I'll be committed and I'm charging you this.
Because we don't want money to be the reason that people aren't getting support, because that feels so unfair.
Right. It does. And but I also don't want my staff to take the brunt of it as well, because our team needs to put food on the table and take care of their bills.
Well, and we need to care for our therapists. Otherwise, we don't get to maintain the team and the culture that we want.
And most people don't understand that mental health insurance sucks.
Oh my gosh.
Like benefits suck. It's not like medical insurance.
No.
Reimbursement rates are low. Coverage is spotty. And so
they direct a lot. There's things that we have to do in order to meet the requirements of insurance companies.
Like making a diagnosis or those kinds of things. So our desire is to create a client assistance fund. So right now, those of you that are listening, the client assistance fund goal for 2021 is $75,000. If any of you are interested or have been blessed over this last, year and a half and can contribute, please reach out to me, Mark at mayfieldcounseling.com, Trevor at mayfieldcounseling.com, Trevor with an ER at mayfieldcounseling.com. Let us know if you're interested, because we want to create a fund that is able to support people that really need help
Yeah.
and genuinely can't afford it. Now, we're not going to create this program to everybody. There are people out there that have been blessed that can't afford mental health supports. But for those that can't, they can only pay a portion of their copay. They don't have insurance. This fund is to support them in a we mindset. And so I know there's a lot of us that have been blessed. So what is it going to look like for us to step up and be a part of that we? And maybe this is how we can do it. We don't know how to sit with somebody that has depression or anxiety. Well, that's what Mayfield Counseling is for.
Yeah.
And we do. And maybe you can give a check of, 100, 500,000. Maybe you can write a check for 75,000. Like, that would be awesome.
That would be great.
And help create that fund and help people.
Yeah. I think this we idea ties really nicely into your book, which is the other initiative. So as you've probably heard, if you're a longtime listener of Candid, Dr. Mayfield has been working on a book with Nav Press called The Path Out of Loneliness. And this book launches in September of 2021.
September 14th.
And you
can pre-order on Amazon.
Yep. We will have the link in the description for you to do that. Highly encourage it, just because we've had a lot of conversations on this show about loneliness, isolation, and just feeling disconnected from others and this very individualistic perspective that we approach the world in. And advanced copies are coming in. I've read a couple little chunks from the book so far, but really being able to dive in not only what the path out of loneliness looks like for you, but what does the path out of loneliness look like for those around you, and how do you participate in that journey for others? Because it isn't something we do on our own.
No, I mean, there wouldn't be loneliness around if that was the case, right? I think it goes back, like you said, to that we piece. And I think the way the book is structured, it actually plays nicely into the Mayfield Collective, which we'll talk about in just a little bit, because I take some very clinical things and make them very practical for people to utilize and to use in their own worlds, first and foremost for themselves. So the book is entitled The Path Out of Loneliness, Finding and Fostering Connection to God, Ourselves, and One Another. So there's a couple of steps in there before we go help others.
Yep.
We've got to maybe not figure it out or have it figured out, but we need to be on the journey. Yeah.
And if you aren't convinced yet, let me just tell you that the foreword was written by Dr. Kurt Thompson.
Yes.
There are two individuals that I'm aware of, probably more, that have endorsed the book.
I've got a lot of individuals that have endorsed it on my wish list.
We have Dr. Amen.
Dr. Daniel Amen. Yep.
He's the godfather of neuroscience, like really well known in the field of counseling and other fields as well. Like just really, really cool that he endorsed this book. Dr. Caroline Leaf.
Yep.
Am I missing anyone?
Jenny Allen, John Eldridge.
Yeah, I mean,
Morgan
that's a big one.
Snyder, John Eldridge. Yeah. Dr. Wes Stafford.
Yep.
Glenn Packiam, John Egan.
Yep.
A lot of good people.
A lot of really, really amazing people that speak highly about what they've read in this book so far, what's been offered to them. We're super excited and hope that you go out there, click the link in the description and pre-order the book. I mean, it's not an expensive book.
I think it's right now the pre-order price is $17. And I think when it comes out, it's going to be like 19 or 23 or something like that. So it's a good deal.
Yeah. And if you really want to, I'm sure you can bring it by and Dr. Mayfield will sign it. I'm telling you right now that we'll make that happen.
That feels weird just even saying that.
Actually, I'll let you choose the next one since I just did.
Well, the Mayfield Collective is something that I know has been probably on your heart a lot longer than it's been on mine, but we've been working on this. Well, I think it's always been the desire to create content that can equip, right? And so mayfieldcollective.com, it's been up and running. It's going, it's ready, so check it out. There are a couple different options there. You listen to the video that's on the landing page, but there's some free resources for you. I think we have 100 some odd videos and free resources. But the heart behind the collective is going I don't want to go get a master's degree in counseling. I don't want to take really any continuing education classes. I don't want to go back to school, but I'm really concerned about my neighbor and my kid, my friend, whatever that looks like. if you're a leader, a pastor, it's how do I lead better? How do I engage better? And these are just, I don't know on the free side. I know we've got like Monday Minute,
Yep.
mental health quarantine, candid conversations, therapist invitation,
some videos from the
Right.
show that you've never seen before.
But then on the paid side, we've got counselors. We've got experts
Yep.
that are taking these concepts and making them accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about the videos that we have on the paid side. And I know we've got like the 7-minute one that you just found out your kid is self-injuring.
Yep.
What do I do? Here are the next steps.
Yep.
But I know there's other ones that we're wanting to create,
Yeah.
have created that are more masterclass-ish,
Yeah.
maybe.
So we are actually recording this episode the day that it's going to go out. And so if you're listening today on Wednesday, the 24th of March, it is not quite up yet because we're launching April 2nd, 2021.
So 2 days.
And
3
when
days.
we launch, we're going to have, I believe we're going to have 6 of the membership only videos live. And then we're planning on offering those on a weekly or bi-weekly basis going forward, where we keep adding to that library over the next several years.
Yeah.
When we launch, we're going to have the video that you just mentioned, the 7-minute. So you just found out that your teen is self-harming. What do you do now?
Right.
We will also have a series of videos from one of our therapists, Lauren, who talks about eating disorders. What are eating disorders?
It's a big deal.
How to help somebody who's struggling with an eating disorder. And I think that one speaks really nicely to this kind of two-pronged approach that the collective is taking. Is not only is this something that resources and equips you to help others,
Right.
but we also want it to be a place where you can go to get help, where we have videos like the coping grid or 5-4-3-2-1 or body scans, these different activities.
Feelings worksheet.
We'll have a really nerdy RPG metaphor reflective journaling activity.
What is RPG?
RPG is role-playing games. Okay. So if you're into Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder or Call of Cthulhu, any of those, like a way to use that in your journaling and to express some of the things that are going on in your life. So it's not just helpers, but it's to be helped as well. And we're really excited about that part because I think, I've found myself in a place where I'm really struggling with my own depression or anxiety or just stress and want to be able to go somewhere to watch somebody say, it's okay. Like, here, let me walk you through something that you can do right in this moment. And having it on an online platform allows you to do that literally whenever you need to.
Yeah. And I think one of the big things too is that the proceeds from the subscription of the members only piece is going to go help with what I just talked about earlier about the client assistance fund. It's going to help fund a portion of that's going to help fund the client assistance fund.
Yeah, it's this really beautiful way that it's all connected between Collective and Mayfield Counseling Centers. And one other cool thing is if you are a current client of Mayfield Counseling Centers, you have access to a free membership on the Collective just as a continuing resource between sessions that you can go and, your therapist might say, hey, go check out this video. I want you to practice this as homework. Or you can even bring it in and say, hey, I saw this video on the Collective. I want to talk through this idea a little bit more and as it pertains to me. And that's, beyond just the free content, which we've been working on since 2018.
Right.
So there's so much there.
2018.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
I know.
It's kind of cool this is coming to fruition this week.
Yeah. And continuing to grow in just a really beautiful way where, you can type in mayfieldcollective.com and that's like the place. Like you don't have to, we'll have searching options so that you can type in certain things that you want to hear more about, but you don't have to go through all of YouTube or whatever to find stuff.
Well, and the cool thing too is that if you are an avid listener to the Therapist Invitation, which we're grateful, we're approaching 40,000 downloads, which is fantastic. You can let us know what videos you want.
Yeah.
And we have a studio in the next room and we're able to, film. So if you have a question about something and you've never really gotten an answer or something that has been bothering you that you're like, where do I turn?
Yeah.
Email us.
Totally.
And let us know what you want to see.
Absolutely. I'm really excited about that part too, because it feels so approachable, hopefully, that, I think a lot of this comes from my own passion of being in that place where maybe I was in counseling, but I also needed something, that morning when things were going hard, and I knew I could call my therapist, but that just wasn't the way we had things set up,
Right.
and it wasn't necessary, but I just needed some encouragement or something. And being able to know, like, if it's not there, I can send an email to candid@mayfieldcounseling.com and say, hey, I could really benefit from a video that just talks about, like, how do you deal with disappointment in a way that, like, what's a 5-minute activity I can do on my way to work when I feel really disappointed.
Yep. That's good.
And then where you have the opportunity to build that out. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited about our rebranding. This is something I've been wanting to do just from a creative side for a long time. And so what I mean by rebranding is that Mayfield Counseling Centers has had our logo and some of our colors and some of the ways that we brand ourselves since the beginning. And we are now almost 6 years old as a company.
July.
And I have been working with a really cool graphic artist, Bad Spark Designs, up in Michigan. Really love their work. And we have created a new logo, new branding, new colors, just to add this freshness and richness. And because we want to be able to have the Mayfield Counseling brand be something that doesn't feel like, I don't know, there's this sense of like counseling, like you wouldn't put a counseling bumper sticker on your car. And I think some of that is because of the stigmatization around mental health.
Yeah.
But I think also part of it is because there aren't very many cool looking logos for counseling centers. Because it's not really something that they focus on.
We don't think about that.
Right. And so the new design, which I will have in places where we really want to be mindful of not confusing anyone and doing a rebranding at the same time as the launch of Mayfield Collective. And so you'll be seeing our branding shift over the next couple of months where we start implementing this new brand and then holding on to what we're calling our legacy brand in certain areas. But we want it to be something where it feels comfortable to have a sticker wherever you put on your water bottle, whatever, because it's a cool looking design, but it also speaks to it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to want to be better. Like it doesn't even have to be like everything's messy in my life right now, and so I'm going to counseling. It can be, you know what, I think there's some ways that I can grow and develop, and maybe counseling is a key to helping me get there.
Right. And it creates conversation.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. We're super excited about that. Oh, can we announce that one thing with the coffee? Is that solidified enough?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Where we want to have more stickers available?
Oh, yeah. Not yet.
We're going to tease that.
So we're going to tease that one. We'll talk about it coming up once we get a solid date on that. Yep. But I think be listening for an opportunity to support Mayfield Counseling Centers in a very easy way. Very easy, very cool way. We're excited for that. There's a lot that's still in the works beyond these initiatives that we just talked about. And at the end of the day, like, we do this for you. We do it because it's part of our passion, and we long to do this work and we love to do this work, but it's because we care about you. We care about the people we get to work with. Well, we believe too that true change, true therapy happens between sessions. Yes. Not in session. And so we're not just wanting to keep it to, hey, come see us and be in session. That helps. Yes. But it's not everything. And in fact, it's only like a percentage of really where therapy and change happens. And this is why we are doing what we're doing. Yeah. So we are glad that you are here. We're glad you're listening. We hope you stay engaged, and we hope that you engage with us on social media, that you share information about the Mayfield Collective. You go and pre-order Dr. Mayfield's book on Amazon because it's not at any local. Not yet. That won't happen until September. Okay. But Amazon always likes to get it up soon, and we get some momentum behind that. Because if we get momentum behind Amazon, then they take notice.
There you go. So lots of cool opportunities. We're glad you're with us in the midst of this. And if you have any questions, if you have any requests for collective or even therapist invitation episodes, we would love to hear from you. In fact, we've heard from a couple individuals that some of our episodes have been a little too quiet. And so we're working right now on correcting that and making that better.
Just turn the volume up.
Yeah, I know. If only it was that easy.
Yeah, I know.
And so it really, I mean, it is meaningful to us
Absolutely.
to hear from you.
Yep.